case? So what you're looking at here, I've heard a few different answers, so I'm not going to say quite yet, but so we look at this. This is technically our 4p. So our p value, we have to figure that out, that 4p equals negative 12. So in order to solve that, we find out p is negative 3. And again, we'll use that throughout this problem, so that's why I wanted to make sure I knew what that was going into this. Now, since the y squared is first, or the y is being squared, y squared is the one we typically didn't do like when you guys were in algebra. So y squared is the weird u. So this is going to be a horizontal, but it's going to open, since p is negative, it's going to open to the left, right? And I might even just draw like a little u here so I remind myself of that as I'm going through this. Becca's right to point out the vertex, the h and k are opposite signs of what they look like, but careful, the x is with the h. So the vertex in this case is what? 2, negative 5, very good. So opposite of what they look like, so 2, negative 5 is our vertex. And so that's going to be the point on our graph. Now the focus then, so look at your horizontal graph. The focus is h plus p comma k. So you take your h and you're adding 3 to it, or negative 3. So I mean negative 1 and then k, right? And I might start kind of putting this on the graph because to make sure I'm doing this right, I like throwing it on the graph just so I can kind of check things as it's going. So my vertex is 2, negative 5. So here, but then the focus is negative 1, negative 5, and that makes sense because I'm expecting it to open this way, and it opens around that focus. So that focus is in the center of our parabola there. So the fact that the focus is here is what I was expecting. So kind of just like giving myself kind of that to make sure this is what I was expecting to happen. The axis of symmetry just goes horizontally through this, and it's basically just the y value, so it's y equals negative 5. And you don't necessarily have to draw that on there. If you want to, you can. The directrix is on the opposite side of the vertex, and it's always the same distance from the vertex to the focus. So if I just want to go 1, 2, 3, I can just go 1, 2, 3 this way. Also, we can look at our equation that says h minus p. So negative 2 minus a negative. So let me write that. So, sorry, 2 minus a negative 3. So it's going to be 5. And so again, that's what I was expecting. 1, 2, 3 over. So that's actually 5. And so now we can draw our u from there. So, and again, I'm not looking for anything perfect, but at that point you can just draw. I don't need a ton of extra details there then. So I don't know. Bad, worse, same, different, I don't know. Again, if we didn't have a note card, this would be awful, right? Yeah. What's up?
Because I messed up with the because I don't I don't know. I think it's just read it's the opposite.
So like you have to make yourself little notes like that. That's okay. I mean, this is what we're practicing. This is your very first one. It's gonna be okay. Do you want another piece of paper, or do you want whiteout, or what would be helpful? I mean, I'm okay if your notes aren't pretty, if you're okay with that. We're gonna do the next one together, okay? So you're gonna follow along with us there. Be careful because the X our typical. All right. So guys, notice this next one is written like flipped. So if you didn't notice that already, the fact that the y is on the left side doesn't matter as much as the fact that the x is the one being squared. So if it really bugs you that this doesn't look like the equation, then just switch the order around. Like it's fine if you want to write it this way. This is the same thing. So that's a 3. So if it bugs you that it was written that way, feel free to rewrite it. So which one comes first isn't as important as which one's being squared. So this one, the x is being squared. So this is our normal parabola. However, we need to figure out what the p-value is first. So hopefully you realize that p is just 2. And if you don't have to write that out, if you just can see that, that's fine. I would just maybe write that somewhere so that if I am watching you go through this problem and you have your p is inconsistent there, this sounds really bad. The p-value is inconsistent, then I can know what you're up to there. So since that is positive, it's going to be an upward facing or vertical, and vertical. Our vertex, again, h and k, so 4, -3. Our focus, now again, feel free to look at your notes, or you can also go to the graph. Like I kind of think the graph makes more sense to me than just like rattling off these formulas. So 4, -3. I'm anticipating the focus is up from there because I'm expecting it to point up. And since the p-value is 2, I'm expecting it to be 2 up from there, if that makes sense. So like I don't write the point first, I prefer to write like this. Yeah?
Why are you expecting it to point up?
Because the p is positive.
Okay.
And because x is being squared. So those two things tell me that.
Okay.
So p positive, so the fact, yeah. Like that just,
yeah, I
right.
totally wrote that.
You wrote that, you just. And then again, at my directrix, I know it's going to be the same distance from the focus to both the directrix and the vertex. And again, the axis of symmetry just goes through the center. So that's going to be x equals 4. And this is going to be y equals -5. Thanks. All right, how are we doing? Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to switch over to writing an equation from the problem being written, like maybe not like what we're used to here. And again, the standard form, this is the form we're talking about today, not like the form you learned in algebra. So that kind of, I don't know if standard form like is the best way to say, because I feel like standard form was the way we had written it before. But. So what I want to do again, it's kind of similar to what we've done in some of our other ones, but not exactly. So what we want to do is we want to like kind of organize things. So I'm going to put like the y together, the x together. So kind of move the y and x's separately. And I'm trying to remember what to do with that 5. My little cheat sheet go here. definitely put the 2y on the other side. Trying to decide, should I put that with the 5 though? I think I might leave the 5 here. So move the 2y over. This one might be tougher than I think it's supposed to be. Maria, you were working ahead. Did you figure this one out? The next one's better. I might have to come back to this one and give you guys a break and figure it out.
Yeah.
This one was bad. Okay, let me come back to it.
That's good.
Let's go to 4.
This one was very great.
This one wasn't fun either.
Yeah, they're on that.
Let's just skip the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, save it for
Alright, so let's try. So in this one, I think factoring out of 3 makes sense. I have to find where I found that other question. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Oh my goodness. I might need to take a break. All right, you guys will get a break because I need to figure this out. Sorry.